It's not every day that we get to laugh at. You know what? Yes, we do get to laugh at Disney every day. That is a real thing. But it's not every day that even those opposed to normalcy come out and condemn Leslie Headland. It's not every day that even a Twitter account that flies the transgender flags and changes their graphics to celebrate Pride comes out and tells Disney to suck on a rock. And I'm this one's funny because it's almost like the Acolyte was so bad that no one can actually defend it except for the people Disney are paying, like Grace Randolph. Even the shills, the people who thought Disney could do no wrong, are coming out and telling Leslie Headland to go pound sand somewhere else. Wikipedia tacitly condemns Leslie Headland for declaring those who oppose wokeness are not Star Wars fans. So if you're not familiar with Wikipedia, it's the same as every other pedia out there for like game sites, walkthroughs, information. It does what the internet is good at. Well, one of the two things. The other thing we can't say because it's 18 plus, but this one is the entire internet coming together to collectively store knowledge in a single place that you can go to find it. Which is why I absolutely love the internet. I can go through places, have people who are knowledgeable about subjects arguing back and forth the most minuscule of details. But Wikipedia, an online Star Wars encyclopedia owned by fandom and private equity firm TPG Inc., tacitly condemned Leslie Headland for claiming that individuals who oppose wokeness are not Star Wars fans. That's that's actually pretty awesome. Headland informed New York Times in the lead up to the release of the premiere of The Acolyte, as a fan myself, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. I've felt it myself. In a follow-up text message, she then declared Star Wars fans who oppose wokeness are not actually Star Wars fans. I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, but I want to be clear. Anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. So we're gonna jump ahead here. And we're gonna do a little bit of scrolling on their Twitter. And Star Wars is for everyone. Okay? This is where I got to, okay, well, here's the but. But it never came. But came, giggity. You may not like everything that gets produced, but that does not give you the right to tell others they cannot enjoy it. Not every piece of media released will resonate with every fan, and that's okay. Enjoy what you enjoy. So what they essentially said is Star Wars is for everyone, full stop. And the second part of this, if you like Star Wars, you are a Star Wars fan. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But that's it. This is what failure to gatekeep has done. Is we've got absolutely disgusting Disney Star Wars movies, absolutely disgusting Star Wars TV shows, and I'm using the word Star Wars in movies and TV shows very loosely because they do not adhere to any canon, and like Disney themselves has said, go screw yourself if you don't like it. This is the new Star Wars. We've killed what you liked, and this is it now. And I could go into how the Acolyte has changed timelines, retconned lore, added pronouns into the Star Wars universe. How they have put someone who wasn't alive at the time is now suddenly magically alive because they needed to throw in member berries. I covered it in a previous one where Lego Leslie Headland said, Kathleen said you wrote a good Star Wars. Now write a good TV series. They don't care about Star Wars. None of this is actually Star Wars, and that's from their own mouths. So while I may be applauding Wikipedia for saying, if you enjoy Star Wars, you're a Star Wars fan, full stop. None of this has been Star Wars, and that's out of their own mouths. There were only 6 movies. Now, granted, I can go back and forth on some debates about the animated series and the Clone War animated versus the 3D one. Which one's real? Which one's fake? One was propaganda. One was the real story. Look, there's tons of stuff I can go into about Star Wars, but there were only 6 movies. George Lucas made all 6 of those movies. That's it. Everything else is fan fiction. That's the reality of it. But let's keep going, because there's a good bit more to this article. The message comes after numerous editors on websites attempted to change the birth date for Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi, who appeared in the episode despite him not being alive at the time the show takes place, 100 years before the events of The Phantom Menace. Yes, I just made a quick reference to that. I didn't know that was in here. So if you're new here, I don't read the articles before I do the recording. So, yeah, I have no idea what's in this article. I just know I have more scrolling to do. So yes, that happened in the Acolyte. The current entry does not list a birth date for Ki-Adi-Mundi, but rather details he took part in a meeting with other Jedi in the year 132 BBY. Previous entries in the current Legends entry list Mundi's birth year as 93 BBY, given it was established in Star Wars Episode 1 Insider's Guide that now Legends Dark Horse comic series Star Wars Republic Prelude to the Rebellion detailed that Mundi was 60 years old just before the events of The Phantom Menace, and since this TV show was 100 years before that, he could not have been born. Man, I'm kind of nerding out, and I feel like I need to give us some explanation. BBY before the Battle of Yavin. Yeah, I think that's it. I think other than that, because that Park Place assumes you're a nerd and you know what all this means. I think the rest of this is okay. So here we go. He never had a birthday in canon. Cough, cough. Wikipedia getting BTFO there. Age 70. Not only were numerous editors attempting to change the birth date, but at least one editor who was attempting to point out the Acolyte's massive mishap was blocked from being able to edit the website. One such editor was Camo Live. An explanation for why the person was blocked was given by user Spooky Willow, who claimed that Camo Live was adding unverified information to articles. Ironically, as noted, the Legends entry does indeed cite the Star Wars Episode 1 Insider's Guide as a source for Mundi's birth year of 93 BBY. And if you're not familiar with pulling up edits on any of these Pedia sites, you can actually pull those up. Let me do one. So here we go. Phantom Menace history. You can see the date it was changed, what was added, what was removed. You can compare them side by side, do everything you can. I've done something similar in other videos I've done, so I'm pretty familiar with this, but it tracks all the changes that were made. So you can't really hide these changes. You can just bury them by making so many changes that it's hard for people to find. But again, like I said earlier in the video, it's the cumulative knowledge of the internet. We can find anything. I don't know. I think Star Wars is dead. I think it's been dead for a very long time. But I am excited to see people pushing back on Disney for once. Finally, because losing $11 billion wasn't enough. Now they've got to have the lowest rated Star Wars in television history. That is now sitting at an amazing 14%. 14% of people thought this was a good show. 14%. Look, if I was in charge of Disney, there'd be a lot of heads rolling after this one. You wasted so much, hundreds of millions of dollars on this show. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And it is the most hated Star Wars of all time. But Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Lego Headland are sitting there jerking each other off, saying it's all the fans' faults. I don't know, but I know there's nerds watching this. So if you've gotten this far in the video, I want to hear your thoughts on this in the comments section, specifically to Wikipedia, because they're definitely woke. And I do appreciate the stance that if you like Star Wars, you're a fan. But I also disagree with them on a lot of points they made. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments section. And while you're there, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. And until the next one, guys, be easy like sleazy.